Hello, my fellow travelers. It's Tom from Permission to Travel. Have you ever wondered how you can save money on trips and how you can save money and be able to travel more and be able to do either larger trips for cheaper or a bunch of smaller trips for a cheaper amount of money or less amount of money? I am going to come to you today and talk about my top 12 tips for being able to save some money and be able to go on trips and be able to do more things when you're on these trips by saving money. The first thing, and probably one of the most important, is to go in and be flexible with your dates. If you're more flexible with your dates, you're able to kind of look and see which dates are cheaper. And if we get stuck into one date, we kind of lock ourselves into a price. So it's always easier to be able to kind of go in flexibility. It doesn't have to be months upon months, but you can just look at like a couple weeks here and there, and it helps you out from there. The second thing is to avoid peak season. Whenever we go peak season, hotels are more expensive, flights are more expensive. Travel overall is just really, really expensive. Cruises tend to be more. So you want to go and avoid those peak seasons. So you want to go to Europe more in the winter time. You want to go towards the shoulder seasons, which is right before or right after the peak seasons. They end up being better and cheaper. Hotels will be cheaper. Flights are cheaper. Cruises are cheaper. I always tend to look at doing those first because there's less people. It's not as crowded. And then things overall, like I said, are cheaper. Third one is to book early. This goes especially for cruising, especially for flights. As you book earlier, there's more space available, there's more area available for you, and so the prices tend to be a little cheaper as things start to book up. It turns into that supply and demand, and then prices tend to tick on up. You'll see it a lot with cruise lines. All cruise lines tend to do that supply and demand, and so as they sell those rooms, then the prices tend to tick up. So it's always better to look into booking earlier. There is early in the year, usually in January, February, March, there's something that's called wave season, and wave season is when they tend to release a lot of their new deals and new dates and stuff like that, so things tend to be cheaper then. But I always look into booking a couple years out. It gives you more time to pay it off, and it gives you time to be able to save some money. That gives you the ability to be able to do more excursions or eat more meals or do whatever you want to do while you're away. Fourth one is to use search engines. So I'm a big fan of using Google Flights. You go in, you put in where you want to go, and it watches the prices for you. It alerts you when prices drop or when prices go up. It kind of lets you know when those prices and everything are going on. The next thing is to look at all your nearby airports. When you look at those airports, when you kind of expand and look at different things, some airports tend to be way cheaper than others. And so if you do that, it actually allows you to be able to find a cheaper deal, be able to look at those things and go from there. Next would be to use those airline points, to use those hotel points. They're really, really beneficial and helpful. I have a lot of different airline credit cards that I use. And so what ends up happening for me is I can actually book flights for really, really, really cheap. I actually just found and booked a flight for $100 down to Miami. And it is amazing to be able to use those airline points and go from there. Hotel points along the same lines. You can do credit cards, you can join the loyalty clubs. Hotels do based off the nights you stay. The airlines do based off of usually the mileage that you fly. Next on that is to cook. So a lot of people tend to go out to eat, I understand that. But if you want to save money for traveling, you want to look into doing cooking in your hotel room. So you want to grab something that is more like a suite, and you want to be able to look in that way. After that, packing snacks. Packing snacks is a huge way to be able to save money. When you grab some snacks and stuff, bring them on the go, I always tend to throw them into a bag and just kind of walk around with them. I have learned a valuable lesson: don't bring anything that melts. But you can bring anything else and do that. Kind of alongside of that is the reusable water bottles. They're huge. You can find them all over Amazon and all different kinds of stores. And reusable water bottles help you save a lot of money as well because you're able to not have to buy a water bottle every time you're out and about. Next is to use public transportation. When we use taxis, when we use cabs, when we use Uber, Lyft, it tends to be more money that we're spending. So if we tend to walk, we tend to use public transportation, it ends up being cheaper. And so what ends up happening is you again can save some money to be able to do some other things, kind of go on a bigger excursion or do something like that. Next is budget. Budgets are huge when you go on vacations because you don't want to spend a lot of extra money on things, you want to research it beforehand, you want to make sure that you know what you're going in with. It'll help you save money, because if we go in with no idea of what budget or how much we want to spend, then we tend to spend as much as we want, and it doesn't help us in the long run. So what I usually end up doing is I end up looking at how much I have spaced on credit cards, or how much cash I want to bring with me, and I space it out across however many days and kind of divide it by the days, and I just give myself my budget in that way. And then finally is to find free things to do. There are lots and lots of free things to do. There are areas that have free museums. There's areas that have, different, where kids are free and different things like that. And so you just want to make sure you're looking at those different things and where you find those likes and dislikes, anything like that. Again, walking is great, amazing. I love going on some of the greenways and some of the walkways in different cities and different countries, and just kind of exploring the countryside and things like that. And again, all free. Some places have free bikes that you can do, or things like that. So just kind of look around and see, but there are a lot of free things out there for us to be able to do. So overall, it's traveling can be expensive, and it's really important for us to kind of figure out what's going to work best for you. I always recommend, especially for cruises and things like that, it's really important to kind of reach out to a travel agent, ask some questions, book some stuff with some travel agents, and look at that, because it really helps you kind of get an idea of cost. You have somebody else to kind of help you figure out and what the budget and what to do, and help you find the best deals that are out there. So I hope that some of this has been helpful for you. If you can like and subscribe, that would be amazing. Please leave comments for me. Anything else you want to hear me talk about, any questions about anything that I brought up, feel free to message or do anything that you want to do. I also have a website. It is permissiontotravel.com. And feel free to go and check that out. I have blogs that I post up there. I actually have something up there about cheaper ways to travel and finding those deals and things like that. So just reach out in any way that you can, and I'm more than happy to talk to you and help you out. So I hope you have a great rest of your day, and thank you for watching.